Good evening, I'm Nate Puderbaugh with your sports update. In college football news, ESPN reports the Big Ten is closing in on bringing in private capital, infusing $2 billion into the conference. A new entity, Big Ten Enterprises, would hold all media rights in sponsorship deals. Also in the Big Ten, it's Big Ten After Dark tonight as Rutgers flies out west to take on Washington. In baseball tonight, it's Game 5 of the ALDS just after 8 o'clock tonight. Detroit heads out to Seattle to take on the Mariners. Derek Skubal is on the mound for the Tigers. He'll take on George Kirby of the Mariners. That series is knotted up at 2 games apiece. It's an off night for the CBJ after dropping their season opener last night to Nashville 2-1. They'll return to the ice tomorrow night in Minnesota. This update brought to us by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with a Rewards credit card. Breaking sports news, what happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Football Friday Quickie edition. We're going to be out here at the bottom of the hour. We got some high school football to get you to coming up here at 6:30. So we're all fun and games this evening. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with my guy Nate Dogg behind the glass. Nate, happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, brother.
What's happening? How you doing? I know that behind the scenes.
I've been a wreck for the last hour.
I know that.
We're discovering things as we go, and it's not pretty, man.
Just to give you a little update, all right? We got a lot of stuff happening around here this evening. We got high school football. We got hockey.
Hockey is on the AM tonight.
Yes, we have this show that we need to do as well, that we get to do. Let me rephrase that. Nate is in charge of everything.
All of them.
Nate is in charge of everything that is happening. And your great friend, actually, from CD, Adam, is here as well. And you're trying to train him and
also do the show and set up the show.
Yes, and do everything after already working a full day. Yes, welcome to Nate's very relaxing Friday evening. Other than that, how you living? You doing fine?
It's radio. At the end of the day, it's just radio.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's live. Stuff happens.
Things happen. You figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. That is correct. Again, we're going to be out of here at the bottom of the hour. Murph's going to join us on the road, not in Champaign, but they are somewhere in eastern Illinois. He's going to join us coming up here around 6:15 to get you ready for the Fighting Illini tomorrow. Every once in a while you find a weird number or weird stat about teams who have played each other a lot or not so much recently, but have played each other a lot in their past. And I stumbled across one today, which really kind of blew my mind. And yes, it deals with the Fighting Illini. It deals with the Illabuck. This is a weird one, and I don't know if Ohio State should be on upset alert tomorrow. I know that at the beginning of the season, I was championing alongside Austin Ward and myself. Illinois is a real contender in the Big Ten. Now, listen, they got smoked by Indiana, okay? Absolutely drummed. That happens. They looked like they wanted to be out at halftime of that game. 63-10 was the final in that one. They were obviously not up to the challenge of going to the Quarry. But I did find this to be a very oddball stat. Nate, do you know how many of the last 4 ranked matchups, when Ohio State and Indiana are both ranked, that Ohio State has won?
Isn't it like 2?
They have won 0.
Really?
In a ranked matchup between Ohio State and Illinois, when the two teams are ranked, Ohio State has not won a game against Illinois since at least 1983.
That's pretty sad. It's been that long they were both ranked.
Isn't that weird? It was one of those weird things that I came across today. I'm like, this can't be right. So that makes me a little uneasy for tomorrow.
It goes to our pal Pat Murphy's theory that Ohio State should lose tomorrow.
Yes, I talked to Pat a little bit earlier, and I may or may not have brought this stat up as well with him. So I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird to see that. But yeah, in ranked games, Ohio State has not beat them since at least 1983. 2001, they lost that game when they were both ranked. 1991, 1990, and 1983. So just a weird situation to make a weird place even weirder. You don't get to go out to Illinois much anymore, to Champaign, but it's a weird place to go. Again, I've been there 2 times, one as a broadcaster and one as a fan, which was an awesome weekend back in the day in my childhood. I forget how old I was, 11 or 12 at the time. My stepdad took me, and we went to an Ohio State-Illinois game. over there in Champaign, and then we followed it up that Sunday by going to a Bears game. So it was a pretty cool weekend. I didn't think it was weird at the time. Then I went in college. I'm like, boy, this is a strange place to go, and it's just a weird game. It tends to be a wacky, zany game when you go there. So what I'm hoping for tomorrow, and I know that a wise man once told me that hope is not a strategy. It's the same thing that you did against Minnesota last week. You get in, you get out, you enjoy the rest of your day to watch a great slate of college football.
Yeah, I mean, if this game is over by the end of the third quarter, I'll be perfectly sound, get the backups in, send everyone home early.
Yeah, exactly. That's that. I'm with you, Nate. We just let Ohio State do that. Even halftime, you don't need to push it to the third.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, let's get it out.
Let's be up 42-0 at the half, and just sit everyone the rest of the game.
Yes, perfect. That would be ideal situation. Here was Ryan Day a little bit earlier in the week talking about Burt and the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, he's a very good coach, and obviously has a great history of winning games, and in this conference. And we know going on the road, first off, in this conference is difficult to win, but then with an experienced quarterback, we know that's going to be a huge challenge. He does a great job. But on defense, yeah, they change up the looks. When Coach Walters left and went to Purdue, they made the change there. And then, Coach Henry's done a really good job of finding what his guys can do well. They really challenge them in terms of having multiple looks and multiple coverages and try to change the disguise, and it's very intricate defense. And their players are smart, disciplined, and can execute it well.
They are disciplined, and they're very turnover hungry. Like, they are very efficient at taking the ball away from other teams. But when you actually break down their numbers, their rush defense isn't that great, and their pass defense isn't that great overall. Again, I know I'm not the coach of this team, but I think your offense is starting to hum a little bit through the air with Julian Sayen's emergence and Ryan Day and Brian Hartline and this offensive staff giving him a little bit more. And this rush game for Ohio State hasn't been the best so far to start the season. I think it's a pass-first game for Ohio State, especially given the weather. It's going to be 70 degrees and like 5-mile-an-hour winds. It's not going to be 50-mile-an-hour winds and rain, which it usually is up there. So it's going to be fine weather. Pass first, get the run game open, and like I said, get out of there, because I think Carnell and JJ are going to be open on those little comeback hitch routes all day as they've been.
Yeah, I mean, how many times in the last few years have we said this team should use the pass to set up the run?
Yeah.
If you got more. JJ and Carnell both on the outside getting 75 to 100, that should get James People and CJ and Bo, like, plenty of room to get them 120 yards on the ground by the half. We're good.
Yeah, Ryan earlier in the week as well was talking about Julian Sayen and getting more confident in his downfield throws.
Well, I think the step he took forward in this game was probably just the amount of the downfield throws and the accuracy he made on those throws, which was great. And it starts with his footwork and his preparation and recognizing what the coverage is, and then during the week, getting those throws down the field and feeling the confidence and layering the ball, or where the timing is, and all the footwork, and there's a lot that goes with it. A big part of that is the protection, though, and when you can stand in there and throw the ball in a good pocket, that all goes into play. So everybody's involved with it.
Justin Zwick, who I do the show with on Wednesdays, and of course you could hear us doing post-game all around the state after the game tomorrow and throughout the regular season. I think the biggest thing I've been impressed with Julian Sayen is not exactly like his throws, because I think we all agreed on in training camp, like, yes, his arm was different than what Lincoln Kienholz's was. That's what separated him between Lincoln. It is his footwork that has gotten him to the spots and he hasn't been under duress a lot, but when he has been under duress, he has been able to navigate that stress in the pocket and make something happen. He's not making crazy plays and relying on his arm when it gets hairy back there. He's either throwing it out of bounds, or he's finding a receiver, or he's breaking it down with his legs, or he's just eating the ball and going down. And I know he hasn't been sacked a lot this year. And I think number one thing for me with Julian Sayen is just like the presence he's had in the pocket, and then his footwork that he's been able to translate. And it's been no happy feet. It's been very calm, cool, and collected back there for number 10.
I think we've been so used in the last 10, 15 years an Ohio State quarterback being mobile that we've forgotten what it's like to have a Joe Germain who is, I'm going to drop back seven paces, scan the field, find the open guy. Maybe I'll move up in the pocket and get rid of the football. I think we've just, as Ohio State fans, have forgotten what that's like to have as a quarterback. So we're having to get used to it again. But he's been doing it just fine. He doesn't need to run. If he does, it's to pick up a yard or two if he can and get out of bounds. I don't need him running 100 yards a game.
Yeah, it's all good. And even to your point, like CJ was the most pocket passer that we've had in a while, but the offense was different when CJ was in it, and he still had that threat to run, and now they've kind of evolved. And Julian, to your point, Nate, has done a really fantastic job of hanging in there when things get tight. Hasn't happened a lot this season, but when it has, he's done a nice job in the face of pressure. Beers and Buckeyes on the road somewhere in eastern Illinois with Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Fraud in government is a crime, and it robs taxpayer dollars. I'm Ohio Auditor of State Keith Faber, and my job is to catch people that lie, cheat, and steal, report suspicious behavior, and help stop fraud. Learn the red flags, speak up, and protect your tax dollars by calling 1-866-FRAUD-OH.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Hey, Buckeyes, I'm John Chabot with Surest, a digital-first health plan designed to make healthcare simple and affordable right here in Ohio. At Surest, we believe healthy small businesses are vital to our economy. That's why we're ready to give your small business a VIP opportunity through our small business sweepstakes. Winners will be recognized on the sideline at an Ohio State home football game. To enter, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Surest. That's SUREST. Surest, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The 2026 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer sets sail on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. It's an intimate ship with an even better experience. It's all-inclusive of beverages, shore excursions, taxes, and gratuities. Sail to bucket list ports like the Grand Turk, St. Martin, and St. Thomas, with Buckeye greats including Ryan Day, Bobby Carpenter, A.J. Hawk, the Boren Brothers, Ezekiel Elliott, Ryan Shazier, and more. Sailing from Fort Lauderdale, February 17th through the 24th. Call 614-792-6204 to book today.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just two guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said. And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, where can you get a full suite of business banking services served up by well-trained, caring employees with unquestionable integrity? It's right here at Heartland. Relationships matter. I'm Scott McComb. Come over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Rare banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Another perfect night for high school football on this Friday. Temperatures in the 60s, light winds and fair skies. It will be cooling off quickly after dark, all the way down to the mid-40s by Saturday morning. And after a cool start, a pleasant finish. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures back in the low 70s Saturday afternoon. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
Capital Ford of Columbus High School football game of the week is going to take us to Pick North tonight. As the Panthers host Grove City. Coverage is going to start at 6:30 with the kickoff at 7. Then after the game, it's Bayer Subaru Dublin's Overtime with Ryan Baker and Lee Cochran. Friday nights are for high school football right here on The Fan. Yep, coming up here momentarily. Let's check in with Murph, shall we?
Drink up, Slappy. It's time for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick Murphy.
Now, we are out of here at 6:30 tonight. So as we do usually, when Pat is on the road, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our great friend live in Champaign, or maybe 45 minutes away. Who knows? He is Patrick Murphy. Murph Dog, how'd the road treat you today? Was it all right?
Yeah, it was good. Pretty easy drive. We got a little bit of traffic on the way, but only set us back about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah, good to go.
Where do you describe your surroundings for us, if you could, right now? What are you looking at in? Are you in Indiana? Or are you in Illinois right now?
We're just into Illinois.
Okay.
Currently, I'm sitting in our hotel room, so it looks like a hotel room. But the hotel's in like a little, I don't know, strip of other hotels, and there appear to be some bars and restaurant type stuff here, and sort of a small, quaint Illinois town.
All right, that sounds pretty good. Sounds like you and the Ohio State beat are just going to have a rip-roaring good time here on this lovely Friday evening that we're having in the Midwest. Pat, what are you most anxious / looking forward to seeing out of Ohio State tomorrow when they get ready to take the field over in Champaign around 11 o'clock local their time?
I think I'd like to see the continuation of the offense we saw a week ago. You know, if this is the time to really unleash Julian Sayin, like I think we start to see the beginning of really going back to the second half against Washington. I think this against another ranked team on the road. Like let's see what the kid can do. We don't need to keep the training wheels on at this point, I don't think, anymore. I think he's proven he can handle these situations. So what does the offense as a whole look like, against an Illinois defense that has not been great? You look at the numbers and they're kind of in the bottom third nationally and a lot of key statistics. So I think the Buckeyes should be able to move the ball pretty well. And then on the other side of things, I think winning the turnover battle is going to be, or at least keeping it neutral, is going to be huge, because that's what's gotten Illinois' defense some success this year. Is they've been very successful in taking the ball away from their opponent. Happened a couple times against USC. Did not happen against Indiana. So the Buckeyes need to play a clean game and not allow Illinois' defense to have any advantages. Talking to some of our guys who cover Illinois this week, like that was the thing they kept saying was, Illinois may be able to hang around for a little bit, but if they're going to actually threaten or win this game, it's going to take mistakes by Ohio State. So let's not see that happen. How about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. We check in with Pat Murphy here with Beers and Buckeyes with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. He is on the road, and he is in Illinois currently. Nate and I were just talking about this last segment, Pat. It's a weird place to go. You've been there before. I've been there a couple of times. One as a fan, and then one, we were doing a student broadcast, and we left at like 5 o'clock in the morning. We did the game, and then we came back. So it was kind of all jumbled. It's a strange place to go. I think there's going to be a lot of Scarlet in the crowd tomorrow. Have you heard the stat this week, though, about when Illinois is ranked, how they handle Ohio State? Are you aware of this? Because I was not here until this morning.
No, lay it on me.
Okay. Illinois, when they are ranked, has not lost a game when Ohio State is ranked as well since at least 1983. I went back and tried to look when the last two teams were ranked and Ohio State won, and I couldn't find it. It was 4 times it's happened. 2001, Buckeyes were 25th. Illinois was 12th. Illinois won that game. 1991, Buckeyes were 11th. Illinois was 20th. 13 back in 1990 for Illinois. 20 for Ohio State. And then back all the way in 1983, Illinois was the 19th ranked team and Ohio State was the 6th ranked team in the country. Illinois has 4 straight top 25 wins against Ohio State when they find themselves ranked. They are ranked number 17 currently right now. I just think that's the weirdest thing that I've read all week.
That is strange. I had not seen that. I guess we might as well just, they should probably not play the game. Just save us all the trouble if we know how this is going to go.
Well,
then,
if you would like it, if we had it your way, you would like it that way, you communist, considering what you talked about last night.
Oh man, I hope you wouldn't bring that up. But no, look, that is strange. And I think, when Illinois has been ranked, they've been pretty solid, right? And I think this is a pretty good team. The thing is, we all watched the game against Indiana, and I know Ryan Day said throw it out, and there are obviously some key players that missed at least some of that game, especially in the secondary for Illinois. So you're not going to get that team on the field again tomorrow, but it's not like this is some unbeatable force in Illinois. I think it's just something we talked about yesterday. We talked about in previous weeks. Like, it's up to Ohio State to have the right mentality going into this game and, not be thinking they've already won it or anything like that, because I'd have to look back at some of those games, but I imagine Ohio State felt pretty comfortable going against Illinois in some of those, even if both teams were ranked. So I believe the Buckeyes, have done a really good job of keeping that, as we said yesterday, nameless, faceless opponent and going out and executing. I until I see them I'm not going to bet against them to do that. So that is an interesting stat. I think it ends tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those weird things in sports, right? Yeah. Like, as much as we're on social media, you just see some of these things pop up. You start doing your research, like, boy, that seems weird that Ohio State couldn't beat a top 25 Illinois team dating all the way back since 1983, which is 42 years ago. So maybe that streak ends tomorrow. Who knows? What else are you looking at, Patrick? I know you said the passing offense. I am a little bit intrigued given Illinois' pass defense ranking. It's not good. I know that Illinois does have some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. They are a fun defense to watch. They really like to turn the opponent over. So I do think they might be a little bit aggressive. But to your point a little bit earlier, I think if it's going to be 70 degrees and sunny with low wind, if you want a chance to get after them, I do think it's going to be through the air tomorrow to continue to see Julian and these wide receivers and tight ends grow in that facet.
Yeah, and I think Ohio State this year may just in general be a team that has to throw to open up the run, because we haven't really seen that run game, get going in these, the game against Texas, the game against Washington, even last week against Minnesota. Now, I will say, I just pulled it up. Illinois is allowing 135.17 rushing yards per game, which is 62nd nationally. So there should be an opportunity to get Bo Jackson and, however the carries play out with C.J. Donaldson, James Peoples going here. And I think really, if you can get their confidence up of all three of those guys, you have a pretty good tandem. It's just a matter of doing it, right? I think it's just, starting with that Texas game, they just haven't really been able to hit the ground running other than Bo Jackson. Even he last week, had his worst game against what is a pretty good Minnesota rush defense. So, I think if you need to come out throwing and then that, loosens things up and gets the run game going, I think you're going to need to be able to do all of your things on offense. If it's not this game, obviously down the road. And so, I think tomorrow is a good opportunity to kind of flex your offensive muscles.
Yeah, I do too, Pat. How have you seen Brian Hartline grow as a coordinator through these first 5 weeks or so? Because after tomorrow's game, we are officially at the halfway point of this season.
I think you saw, some good examples last week, some obvious examples. Carnell Tate motioning into the backfield a couple times. Mm-hmm. One when I think it was C.J. Donaldson took the handoff as kind of a fullback. I don't know which coach came up with that play because they all are obviously a part of this offensive game plan. But I think you've seen Brian Hartline start to get comfortable enough to be like, hey, let's throw a little wrinkle at him. Let's dig in the playbook a little bit. But I think he's called good games so far. I mean, even when it's frustrating that, they play sort of a ball control game against Texas and a little bit early against Washington, like, as Ryan Day said, it's just about winning these games. And I think Brian Hartline's done a good job of, kind of managing things in the play calls so far. Now, look, tomorrow, as we said, not the strongest defense, but the Buckeyes will be tested further, and I think we'll continue to see the evolution. But I like what I've seen from Brian Hartline thus far. It's not like there's been these massive offensive struggles and, play calling is confusing and things like that. So I think he's at least doing what you expect. And, this is obviously the first time he's been asked to do these things, at least in game situations. So, there hasn't been like the hiccups, I think, that you might expect from a first-time play caller in this big-time situation, which I think is a positive.
How much are you looking forward to getting your eyes on the terrific turtle-shaped Illabuck tomorrow, Pat?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it's been, what it's been doing.
It's like the Trillium Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Where in the world is the Illabuck?
No one knows. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, so hopefully after an Ohio State win, they're passing it around, and I'd be way more excited if it were still a live turtle, but I understand why they don't give that out anymore. But yeah, Ohio State, strangely, I would say Ohio State doesn't have these rivalry games with trophies.
No.
There's not one for the Michigan game.
This is it. This is the one.
Yeah, right. So, you might as well keep that and keep that. I don't think they put it over there at the trophy lobby at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. At least I've never noticed it in there, but I'm sure there's a special place in the Woody that they keep it, and you don't want to see that thing go over to the other side.
Murph, always appreciate the time. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and I will talk to you next Thursday, all right?
All right, sounds good, Beeb.
There he goes, Patrick Murphy with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. The Illabuck, one of the best trophies in sports. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows where it lives. With that being said, everybody have an awesome weekend. We got a great high school football game coming up next right here on The Fan.
As a former pro athlete, confidence has always been key for me on and off the field. And that's why I chose CAP for my NeoGraft treatment. They've got a great reputation. After doing my research, I knew I could trust the team right here in town. The staff was professional, answered every question, and made the whole process smooth and stress-free. The results are natural. It fit my busy schedule, and I already feel more confident. CAPS made it easy, judgment-free, and honestly, one of the best decisions I've made. Visit CAPS today at experiencecaps.com.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today.